I'm LaDonna Lockard, and this is Max Combos. I'm back again today with one of my most favorite guests, Jeana Lanktree. Jeana, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy to have you here with me as we're wrapping up the end of the year. You are one of the most favorited guests because you always provide such incredible insight and actionable items, things that people within the industry really should be looking out for. So I wanted to have you back as we're wrapping up the year because there's something that I know that you do for the teams that you work with, and that's helping to set up goals for the coming year. So let's talk about it, my girl. Talk to me about goal setting for 2026. What are you thinking?
Yeah, well, 2026 is a year that I'm really excited for. It's been a long time since I've been excited in this industry for a year. It's kind of, the past couple of years we've been getting through them. And so I think 2026 is going to be a big turning point for everybody. Get ready. It's going to be a wild one. And I think it's going to go fast. I think it's a year that a lot of people could really grow and build their businesses. And I'm excited to see what it brings. Get ready for some diversification. You're going to have to
Mm.
be diverse next year. And so, as I'm talking to people about goal planning, go back and look at your book of business, see what you did this past year, and take inventory. Where could you have shown up better? Where did you show up great? What loans and what clientele did you enjoy working with? Which agents did you love working with? Get really, really clear on what worked for you and what served you well, and then get really clear on what didn't. The things that did not work for you, question those. Is that something you want to dive in and put energy and effort into to get better at? Or is that something that maybe isn't your lane and you want to stay away from? And so whichever you decide is, the right answer for you, but ultimately what you want to find is, where did you really shine? What lit up your energy? What gave you a good outcome and built relationships instead of, was literally trudging through mud? And double down and focus in those areas. And then find things within the industry that you can build and compound upon those items.
Oh, I really love that. And I'm so glad that you mentioned diversification because I'm not kidding. That has been a hill that I have been dying on this year of saying you need to diversify. You need to get out there. You need to explore other products, other lenders. You need to see what else is available to you. There are so many really cool programs coming about. I actually saw one yesterday that's kind of a spin on non-traditional HELOCs, things like that, where I'm like, we really are getting back into these diversified product lines. So it's more critical than ever. I think you're so right. I think 2026 is really going to open up a whole lot of opportunity for people. I think we're going to really see the market start to actually move in those progressive ways that we just haven't seen the last 2 years. And again, it's out of normalization, right? We're
Yeah.
finally in this place of rates are just, they are what they are. We've stabilized. We're in this normalization market. It's time. If you've been thinking about moving up, if you've been thinking about moving down, borrowers are getting ready to make those adjustments. Not to mention, I mean, with the average home buyer, first time home buyer now hitting the age of 40, we have this funky compression in the market that's occurring where we're seeing those move up demographics, those move down demographics, those first time homebuyer demographics that are all dang near the same age, right? Like
Yeah.
they're hitting these same pinnacle points all together, all at the same time. And it's just going to be this, like I said, kind of funky compression that I think
Yeah.
we're going to see. So I love your advice of what people should be doing. I would love to know, as you're working with people for goal setting, what are some kind of structures that you encourage them to really outline for themselves? Are you a write it down person? Are you a work with a coach? What's kind of your go-to advice for them?
Yeah, I think everybody's different, right? So you got to find what works for you. If you're a person that struggles with accountability, you likely should get a coach. A coach is going to keep you a little more accountable than what you'll be on your own. If you're a person, I think everybody, no matter which path you take, it should always be written down. There's just power in writing. And so if you can think about it, I was out with a friend last night and we were talking about some goals for 2026. And she says, well, what's the outcome on this? Have you pathed this yet? What's the step by step? And that's a
Mm.
valid question, right? Anything you're doing in your life, personal, business, And especially when you're talking about, growing your business or any type of scalability, it needs to be written out. You need a path. You also need to know what the ripcord is, because some people will go down a lane and that lane is not serving them well, but they haven't identified the ripcord. When is it time to reassess and maybe pivot and go, okay, this isn't working for me? Or when is it time to go, I could potentially be the problem, double down and really dive in and get through the pain points? You have to have those identified before you get there. If you don't have them identified before you get there, and some of them you won't know, there's always an element of surprise. There's always the not knowing everything. You're going to have something that's going to come up unexpectedly, but knowing how you handle that and navigate that, know thyself, right? So the more you know yourself, the more you can navigate how you want to do that. I'm big on writing it down. I'm big on step by steps. I'm big on identifying the ripcord. When is the point that's a breaking point for me? We don't go any further on that. Or that's a time when I got to really self-reflect and look at where the flaws in myself are, or the flaws in my business plan or my structure, my system, and double down and revamp those things. So I think the more clear you are on that and the more you know yourself, the better you're going to be able to navigate that. Have accountability partners. Right? You and I are great accountability partners. Like, how are you doing this? I have several of them. And we just call, and also surround yourself with people that are your cheerleaders, but also there. Like, you want your people to be there in your wins and cheer you on, but you also want them to call out your BS. So, I surround myself with people that will call out my BS. They'll go, that's not serving your highest and best use, right? That's not something you should be focused on right now. That's not an area that you should be spending your time, or you're pretty full of yourself right now. Go reflect and go get right on that. You need those people in your circle. And so surround yourself with as many of those as possible. I think you're going to be all right. And the more clear you are on what you want, a lot of times people will go, well, I'm going to check out this, or I'm going to go do this, but they don't know what the end game is. They haven't been clear on that. They haven't really dove in and said, what do I want to accomplish with this? And so a lot of times people are out at luncheons, they're out doing events, they're doing a ton of social media with zero intention. And so it's just busy work, and it's time and effort and energy, and it produces a minimal result. So really double down on the things that give you results and start weeding out the things that are just busy work that aren't really leading to much.
You're so right. We do already have to wrap this up. I mean, good old Max Convos, that just goes in a blink of an eye. So let's hop over. We're going to go do a Take It to the Max. We have so much more that we're going to get into. We're kind of doing some forward casting, looking at what's coming ahead in 2026. We want to talk about portable mortgages, the 50-year mortgage that's being floated out there right now. So let's jump over. Let's go do a Take It to the Max. And Jeana, as always, you are just sunshine for my soul. Thank you for being here. Let's hop over.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
For more on this and all of today's top stories, go to nationalmortgageprofessional.com.